You're probably live right now, to be honest with you.
This meeting is being live streamed.
Live stream on YouTube, The Real Nordic Black. Hold up 1 second, though, so I can actually see you when I talk, because it's like a delay. I got to stop the echo. We live right now, man. Hold up. Definitely. Let me put you, let me see. We live and direct.
Oh, look at that handsome guy. He looks a bit pink in this light, but here you got Donald Trump, like Modoc, and urban legend, and Spider Pig. And little slice of Deadpool up here. Are you still there, Robert? I'm alone here on your YouTube channel now.
Hey.
Hey, there you are.
Bro, I think I kicked myself out of the meeting. That's the first, man. Listen. Let's see if let me check if it's still live on. Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube.
So it says.
It's the first time for everything. Anybody watching, I kicked myself out of my own live stream. That's crazy. First time for everything.
I'm innocent. Totally innocent this time.
No doubt. The Real Nordic Black. Welcome to my channel. I was on a hiatus. I've been gone for a minute. Now I'm back in full effect, hopefully. And tonight we got, how can I introduce this guy? The rapper, he multi-talented, I would say so. Definitely, I say he's an artist, bit of an artist. He can be a street artist. I think he can rival some of the dudes on Carl Johan, drawing people, this little street artist. I think also does a little theater and plays and shows as well. I think he thinks he's a comedian, but no, he's funny. He's a funny guy. There's other talents that I probably don't know about, and I purposefully didn't get into so much of his background because I knew that I was going to end up interviewing him, and I wanted to be surprised myself, so it could be authentic.
Why not? Why not?
So most people in Norway that are watching definitely know about you. So he's definitely not anybody new for them. But for probably for the younger crowd though, for some, I'll let him talk about that. I'll get into that later. But for the OGs, he's definitely known already, especially around Toyen and Grunland and stuff like that in those areas, and other places I'm sure that I forgot to mention. So I'll let him start it off. Elling, from Gatas Parlament.
Yes, sir.
And he's usually speaking Norwegian all the time with me, which I should be speaking more. I'm in Norway. If you guys don't remember, to my American or international crowd that's listening in, as I said, he's a Norwegian rapper. Most people in Norway already know about him. I'm just trying to bring him in to let you guys know about him. And there's certain reasons why I brought him in, historical reasons as well, mainly, to be honest. Because I said before I wasn't going to try to bring a rapper or anything like that. I was more into the historical side of things, or civil rights side of things. But he does talk about, I forgot, talks about politics too. He raps about politics, so he ain't just a one-trick pony. That's for sure. So I'll definitely. I'll let you have some of the floor, let you talk instead of me rambling on, because I know that's on. We get all these these comments that I'm talking too much, and let you do your thing. Elling Borgersrud.
Borgersrud.
I don't think that's the first time I think I said your last name. Borgersrud.
Yeah, Borgersrud.
Bogies, yeah. And I know he likes history a lot, so because that's how we kind of first chatted about,
I guess, yeah.
Racism, civil rights, politics, and history.
Right.
Some hip hop, so of course, and things like that. But I think mainly about history and politics and stuff like that.
Yeah. Those are interconnected.
For sure, for sure. So Elling, I'm glad that you we finally got to getting it to happen, and I appreciate you supporting me and actually helping me out. But we're gonna get into that later. I'm gonna talk about how he helped me out and things like that. But Elling, go ahead.
Yeah, so an honor to be here, and amongst so many, what should I say, great guests that you have. Yeah, my name is Elling. I'm from the rap group Gatas Parlament, which means like Parliament of the Streets, left-leaning rap group, and the first Norwegian rap group to use our native tongue back in 1993. So that's almost 30 years now.
No doubt.
Yeah, which is weird since you all can see that I'm...
He looks young.
Yeah, like 17, 18.
No
but
doubt.
I got a time machine, so that's why.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't color that beard like I did, huh? But yeah, so around 1993.
Right.
Yeah, so that's when you started, and it's a duo. So I forgot to mention the other guy in his group name is Jesper. Is it Jesper?
Jester.
Oh, Jester.
Jester. Yeah,
Jester.
It's like a, what do you
like
say?
Court Jester.
Like yeah.
Jester. But I remember I was talking before. Anyway, the group.
Yeah, I'll tell
originally,
you that. Yeah. Well, he wasn't a member back then. We were three dudes back then. We were me, my brother Aslak, and Don Martin.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he is still known, you could say, amongst the Norwegian
the circles
crowd.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
he does theater stuff and stuff like that now.
Got you.
So and at that time, the Norwegian, you could say, like the hip hop crowd was pretty small, and the main like music scene was rock and roll and some techno house stuff in the underground, you could say. So we were like a small hip hop crowd, like maybe 300 people in Oslo, and a few bubbles around in other places where Jester is from Kongsvinger, which is
definitely know about Kongsvinger.
All right.
Yeah.
Now he was he actually started way before us. They had like a small clique up in there called the Dubstep Posse, and they were doing. He recorded his first stuff in 1988, which is like,
wow,
that's ancient Stone Age stuff.
Right.
I actually thought he exaggerated a lot, because he said he said he made rap music to attract girls and stuff.
Right.
Like, yeah, right. And then he was at the Folkehøyskole. How would you say that in English? Like a school.
Yeah. What did you just say?
Folkehøyskole.
Okay, Folkehøyskole. I know what that is, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he recorded a song and made a video and everything called "My Girl" in 1988. So yeah, that's a long time ago. And the hip hop clique and the hip hop culture was very different back then from what it is now. In '88, it was getting political, I guess.
Right. And as far as you know, and far as that you can remember, who were the first rappers that became popular, that were known?
Yeah, well,
or how'd that go?
Yeah, because back then in Norway, there was such a small clique, and rap and hip hop was seen as a joke, like a parody.
Yeah. Right.
So there were a lot of
like Weird Al Alchemist, or whatever.
Yeah, but worse, they were making fun of the whole culture.
True that.
So that was a lot of that going on. Like Carly Hagen, the racist politician, he made a rap song. Yeah, stuff like that. And So everybody was like a bit afraid of that being taken as a parody, and the whole clique was, very oriented towards America. At least in the 80s, like was sort of a part of a, I had forgotten these things, but that was like people were shopping at burgers because that was buying hamburgers because that was American Coca-Cola and talking English to each other.
Right. Because the birth of hip hop, New York,
it's still a bit weird because a lot of great music came from America, but still
right. Weird. It's weird to see that, I'm sure.
But around 1990, things turned a little bit, and the European rap, like especially British rap, became popular over here, and a lot of people turned towards that. It's called Euro hardcore, mostly that style, or Britcore at that time,
right?
Which was like sort of inspired by the Bomb Squad and Public Enemy, only even a bit faster and even a bit harder. And so we were inspired by that, the whole hip hop clique in Oslo. And then the next evolutionary step was like, to turn to Norwegian tongue music. And that was like sort of it wasn't just us, but a group effort, you could say, to make it Norwegian, sort of make the culture Norwegian and make the music, the rap music. Norwegian.
Right. And that's a good subject that well, what we're talking about right now is because that's how I noticed that most music around the world are becoming more and more popular, because they're resorting back to their own kind of cultural, their own roots, and like UK hip hop is definitely, everybody's embracing it, because they're not sitting there rapping and trying to sound American and things like that. And so
some do a little bit, but
a little bit, but for the most part, they're talking about things that are happening there and things like that. So just like Afrobeat is popular, like as we spoke about, and people are embracing their culture and their roots more. Some already have, not everybody. I'm not painting a broad stroke, but it's it's pop and cool to be African now, because Afrobeat. So of course, because of accepting now, more and more people are stepping out there to claim it. But and so your group became but when you first started, you said you and your brother, correct? And then there was that third person that you said from Consving or whatever, and you guys started around that time. That was 93, right?
Right. Yeah. Around there.
Right. And so what was your first single that was kind of popular? That broke you guys?
Well, the first thing we released, I got it. I just found a stack of it right here. Let me see. Wait.
Digging in the crates.
Hold on.
Right.
Just a second.
Right. No problem. So we listening to Elling.
Yeah, sorry.
Live and direct.
This beautiful thing. Check this out.
Oh, snap. Gatas Parlament, Autobahn till Union.
Yes.
All right.
And if so you remember historically what happened around that time, 1994 in Norway, we had a referendum.
Okay.
For or against Norwegian membership in the European Union.
Yeah, that's why you got the. Okay.
We were against.
No doubt. No doubt.
And we won too.
Right.
So that was fun.
Right.
This is what this one is about. It's against.
And that was the first album.
Well, it's not really an album. Single. It's sort of an EP, like with 5 songs on it.
Okay.
And it's about the European Union, and then we talked about killing politicians and stuff.
Damn, man.
Maybe a few cops too.
Right. That's like
a lot of that.
That's like a far cry to who you are now, right? What you talk about now on record.
Well, yeah. That was what passed for conscious rap music at that time.
Right.
So we were inspired by Paris, for example. I don't know if you know him from Oakland, who made
Paris from
Bushkill,
Oakland.
yeah.
Okay.
Stuff
Yeah,
like
some
that.
of these artists, man, I hadn't even listened to that you
He was
telling me
badass.
about that. I've heard of Paris, but like I said, some of these artists, you're a little older than me,
The Black
but
Panther
still, I
of
should
rap.
know.
You'd like him, I think.
Definitely. No, but what was the so that EP is what kind of, I know that was your first EP, but what was the break where people, that
Well, that came
in a way.
maybe 10 years later.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That long.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay.
We were
Because it's
we
harder to
were
get on back then.
Yeah, we were a small group and people didn't like. I remember Cypress Hill was the most selling rap record in Norway, and it sold like, wow, that's crazy. It sold 3,000 records in Norway.
Right.
Which is, well, compared to
right.
2000s, that's very small. Now it's big again, I guess.
Right. No, that's right, because now the whole scene is kind of hype for hip hop music and things like that. But back then, people didn't really like it or care for it back then. Because I remember even that people didn't care for it. But well, okay, so 10 years later, or whatever, what would be that single or that song or whatever?
Well,
kind of
the 90s were like, we were established, and it was like a rush to get the first album out, I guess, and to be signed. And then English language rap group called Warlocks released well, there was a group before them called A-Team, which was
right.
Yeah, they made a pretty good two good records. One, A-Team Rage, and then they changed their name to Bolt Ward, and they made a album called The Reinforcement, which was Norwegian hip hop,
right,
and or rap music. And then our generation, which started around early 92, 93.
Right.
And we're working at Blitz, and Warlocks was the first group from that generation to be signed. And they had a hit, which, relatively speaking, in that time was a huge hit in 97 or something like that. 96 maybe, called the VOT Click. VOT is Groruddalen. It means Valley of Terror.
Okay. No doubt.
It's hard.
No, but what I was talking about was you guys. When you guys had the first break. Not necessarily hip hop, but
right. Yeah. But anyway, so we were like the language, Norwegian tongue rappers. And there was 5 or 6 other groups. Klovner i Kamp came before us and had a single called Bare meg, which was hit big. And then we released Holdning over Underholdning, and we had a song called Asphalt Evangeliet that was like pushed on the radio and stuff that people knew about back in those days. That was 2001 maybe, around there. So if you're my age, you'll know it, and 10 years younger perhaps, but yeah.
So nowadays, do you see what age group? Well, obviously the age demographic that gravitates towards your music more so. I see your eyes. Cracking me up, man.
I can't see my eyes, so I don't know.
No, because I know you, man. Anyway, yes. That embrace.
I do like. I'll go.
You know what I'm trying to ask you? That's music.
Okay, so listen. In the 90s, we were kids. Like we were. I guess there was the saying that for every year, the rap crowd was half a year older.
Right. They started to say, they say that only in hip hop where people feel like you get too old, every time you rap, you know what I mean? When other groups in rock and other genres, they embrace them for the most part, but only in hip hop it's like a young man's game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I don't think that's entirely true though.
I don't think it's entirely true too, but
There are exceptions, of course,
right.
And we were wondering about that when we started selling records. Like, how are the rules for this? Are we following rock rules or are we following pop rules? Because in pop music, you are as big as your latest single, but for rock music, usually you could build for each record. So you can have like the Rolling Stones. If they were as big as their last single, then we wouldn't know their names, right?
Right.
Because that wasn't that
right,
didn't hit. But so I think that hip hop and rap follows sort of a combination. Also, this is geographically different, works different in different places. I think that New York, which is such a an important place for hip hop, and I mean, it's a historical mecca for hip hop culture, but it's also like where most rap groups come from. It's very fast moving culturally, so people tend to forget their old
quick
rules. So you can like go to New York and see huge, or for me, huge stars from my youth, but and I think that we work a little bit different than that over here, and we can like at least we've been touring like for since we started out.
True
but of course there's we're not like VG-lista top 20, like, which is the Norwegian hit list.
No, I feel you. No, but you made a point, but also the market is kind of more saturated. There's more artists too. So nowadays, like back in the day, like even in America, you have you knew certain people. Now it's so many of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's been there are different genres of rap too.
Subgenres too.
Yeah, which is I think has their own rules and audience and stuff.
Right.
So yeah.
So what age? Obviously, the age demographic that mainly kind of listens to your music or purchases your music or streams your music is
people don't really purchase music anymore. Vinyl, but that's
stream, whatever. True that. What were some of the people that you the answer would probably be in the hundreds, maybe, I don't know, but the people you opened up for, the far as American or big American artists that you remember either opening up for or playing on the same billing and things like that, that you have a memory of.
We were one of the few Norwegian rap groups, early 2000s, and then they called us like they called the who can warm up for this. So we played a lot of big, huge artists.
But
the thing I really remember was Public Enemy. We played with Public Enemy a couple of times, but
that was early 90s.
No. We're talking about more recently.
More recent,
but they still draw a crowd.
For sure.
But we had like a backstage interview with a video camera with Chuck D, who was my like great hero when I was a kid growing up.
Right, for sure.
So that was like he gave us a full hour, and that was really cool. And we got to ask questions that I've been pissed off that nobody. Yeah.
Back then,
so that was cool.
And but back then, did you notice a lot of when kind of rap music and hip hop was on the scene? Well, you got them different elements, right? You got the dancing, break dancing, the graffiti, and DJing and all that stuff. What other elements besides rap did you partake in? As far as
in the 90s, when we were so few, everybody had to do a little bit of everything.
Right.
So we all did a little bit of everything.
Right.
But I wasn't very good, and
Yeah.
I wasn't
Very good on the I got
I'm a horrible dancer, okay. And
so you wasn't as stiff as you are these days.
No, I could do a little bit more.
A little bit something, right?
Jester actually does sometimes still dance.
Okay. Yeah, he seemed like it. A B-boy, he's a little B-boy thing.
Yeah. And
how about like skate? I mean, I'm sure you was like into skateboarding. You were into skateboarding,
sure.
and you were into what was around that time when you was started rapping? What was the main other kind of, I guess, thing related to hip hop?
Yeah, well, obviously the dancing and the graffiti scene. Graffiti scene was sort of its own thing, but we consider it part of hip hop. And then most rappers, honestly, most rappers were also tagging. Oh, maybe even most people in my generation.
Yeah.
Sort of tagging a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah. And well, I don't know. There was a political side as well,
right?
Especially concerning like anti-racism and stuff like that.
Right.
There were some things going on in the 90s, which is not going on anymore in the same way, I guess.
Right.
With the Nazi movement and stuff like that in Oslo, and in other places in Norway too, all the others.
Yeah, speaking of that, when you in some of your concerts or whatever, like where some of the neo-Nazis and things like that, did they kind of clash with some your type of crowd back then? Or
yeah, well, they were they were
because I know some probably even embraced it in a weird way, the hip hop, but
no, okay, not over here. No,
okay,
there have been some things with that, but that's recent. That's recent because it comes from the conspiracy mindset. You could say it could go from hip hop to conspiracy theories and then to racism, but back then, no,
it wasn't like that.
Nobody like that, no.
Okay,
but there were.
There was no hybrids like they have today.
Well, no, but we were sort of part of the set that were protesting the Nazis and sometimes clashing with them on the streets of Oslo, because they had like well, at that time you had the Nazi skinhead movement and the sort of street thugs Nazis that were harassing people of color and gay people or socialists or whatever freaks they could find. So we met them when we could, like and stopped them along with the Blitz movement. We were Parlament in particular.
He's mentioning Blitz, and for people, Norwegians definitely know about it, but for people out there, it's a you can describe it's like a club that is for a space where people can express themselves and
autonomous youth house, sort of left-leaning autonomous youth house,
kind of like in Berlin where they have the little yam. I forget the name of the place.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I forgot the name. I think I'm saying
but the movement is also like in Germany. But they and we had the AFA and all of that coming out of the Blitz movement and the punk rock, obviously, and the music scene, and the Norwegian hip hop, when we were small, when we were 300 people, we had jams at the Blitz house a lot. And
most of you guys probably pretty much knew each other.
Of course, I still greet people from back in the days, and I think they're old b-boys, and they showed up at the jam once. I just, you're one of us. That might not be true.
Right. So there was another question on the tip of my tongue that I was about to ask about that. It'll come. But anyway, so do you still say hip hop pays? Is it I know the music scene is definitely, is it, well, you guys still tour and stuff like that, and my bad, you guys are working on some music right now, correct? You
Yeah.
put up some singles not too long ago.
Yes,
I
and there's
know
coming a new single
a
like
new, right,
a week or so, in a
right.
week or so, called Eddie Caron.
Eddie Caron.
Eddie
Oh,
Caron,
all
yes.
right, all right. And when is what, y'all don't have a release date for that yet? Nothing.
I'll have to. I can't remember. Sorry.
Okay. No problem. No problem. No problem. But the last track I remember you guys putting out with the video, whatever. No, was it the one, when
That
you
was the
guys were
striking
the
song.
strike? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
so
how
that
did,
was for the culture strike, they called it,
okay.
which was the
And
people in.
how'd that come about right there? The last one that you guys had with the,
We've been doing like workers anthems, you could say, or songs
right.
for strikes and protests and stuff like that. And we did the Fagforbundet Barneoppvekst,
Right,
like
right.
1st of May and stuff. And so we've been
So
collecting songs and
he's been doing stuff for like the unions
yeah.
out here, and yeah, some of
Yeah.
the political parties
Yeah,
and
so this
things.
is another trade union, but
Right,
yeah, we supported the case, and they were
right,
inviting us to do a show for them, which
right.
obviously we were wanted to do. And then I don't know.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
that,
that came up, and we jumped around and did it. It was also, we made a song for the I don't know if you remember the Foodora strike.
okay, okay,
The food delivery people, the
okay.
Foodora
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that was sort of a new workplace
Okay.
where they
Well,
call it like part of the app economy, they call it.
y'all be jumping on them strikes, huh?
Yeah, but those are fun. Those are
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah.
And
We
also,
started, yeah.
yeah, people, we're a left-leaning
Anything when it
band.
comes to rebel,
Yeah, but
against the
listen,
establishment, that's you guys, huh?
people all
Yeah, you
become
like,
left-leaning when it's a strike.
you feel me?
Yeah. So that's everybody is a rebel all of a sudden. Like,
Right, right.
yeah.
Just
So
like,
that's cool. But
just like a
anyway,
lot of, yeah. Go ahead, my
yeah.
bad.
Okay. So the Fedora strike, if you'll give me just a second.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. So
See, by just you saying that, the people out here say, hey, let them talk. you know.
all right. Yeah. So they demanded tariffavtale. I can't say that in English, can I?
Tariff.
But,
Well, I think in English, yeah, we have tariff. Yeah. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Okay. Let's just accept that. And so they demanded like a proper deal
Right.
for
Like an agreement. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And they were striking, and it's very difficult to organize because people don't really meet each other anyway.
Right.
So they had this strike, and when they started, there were 50 people, and it goes like some days, and then there were 100 people, and grew and grew and grew. And the way they did it was they were riding bikes, and they were like this pink Fudura.
Right.
Yeah. So they were rolling around the streets and ringing like ding 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 ding.
Right.
So that's very cool. You walk around streets, and then all of a sudden there's 150 strikers going,
Right.
So we were like, yeah, let's do that. So we made the song called Rulle med oss.
Roll with us.
Yeah, right.
Basically.
So you can like roll with us. And I was we were a little bit late for the strike. So it came out, and then 2 days later, strike is over.
Right.
But that song has been like a pretty big song for us anyway.
Right.
So people have been listening to that. I don't know if it's the Fudura strikers or other people, socialists, I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, it's also a pretty cool song. So what we wanted to do, we wanted to make a striking song which came out early enough. So yeah, that's
And you reminded me of the question I was gonna ask now about conscious rap music in Norwegian rap music.
Yeah.
Who were the earliest that you remember? Kind of like the Furious, you know, in America,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Well, Norway is slower.
Right.
Well, I mentioned earlier the A-Team crew that had the album called Rage.
Okay.
And the rapper there called Jayski, he was pretty conscious dude.
Jayski, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he's you noticed that's like the way they made their names back then.
Right. Sparsky.
And Mixed Kid, I think.
Okay.
And he made some
kind of conscious.
He did some.
Was it? But was it in Norwegian though?
I think you would like to. Yeah, you should check out the song called "The Pastor," which I think you would like. It's both anti-racist, you know.
Right. But that was in English though.
That was in English, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But in Norwegian, who were some of the first or groups?
Well, we were first.
Hey, I want you to say it, man. Give you
we were the first, and we started out politically from the get-go.
Right. So this is one of the reasons why I got this guy on here, because he was one of the first people, like the real Nordic Black in many ways. Anyway,
right.
Talking politically and culturally consciously about situations and things going on around that time, and that what I found was fascinating.
Cool.
And you also put that on your website, so it's not just me always saying the first, anyway, because you guys put the first Norwegian. I have it somewhere, but that's awesome. What was the my mind went blank. Yeah. So, but the influence, you said Public Enemy definitely was one of your first influences. That was one of my first influences as well. So what was your biggest influence? Public Enemy, I guess I repeated myself.
Well, probably. But there are several, there are groups from outside of rap as well. And but yeah, like classic, American boom bap music.
Right.
So KRS-One and Public Enemy and even some of the gangster stuff.
Right.
And then the British rap scene back then, and then other groups, I guess, from Norwegian, like a little bit from the punk scene and political music from before there, I guess. But yeah, I guess also the development of Norwegian rap music in general.
Right.
Which was, it was pretty fun paying
paying
attention to for a while there.
Right. Yeah. Now I met Elling. Maybe you definitely remember the place we met for sure. When I first ran to. What was the name of the place? It was in Toyen. The workshop. You were doing like a workshop with Steen.
Yeah.
And some other artists out there. I forgot the name of the place in Toyen. But anyhow.
Forandringshuset.
Yeah, Forandringshuset. And that was 4 years ago, 4
something,
maybe like 4 years ago or something, 4.5. Yeah, in the summertime or whatever. And that's when I first ran into you. But the reason I brought that up is because you definitely like working with kids, teaching them music and things like that. You guys were giving a workshop or whatnot. But no, that was my other thing about a record label or company. Did you guys ever thought about grooming other people, or at some point back then? I know you're lifting your eyebrow. I can answer that for you right now, but we'll leave that alone. I'm talking about back then.
I'm gonna need for you to explain a little bit what you mean by that.
Having a record label and then having like artists under you, basically.
Oh yeah. Well, we did that a little bit. Yeah. We did that. We had a label.
I know that now.
No, we had a label called Rar.
Okay.
Yeah. And we released some records back in the days. We released Some classic records like Scenario by Apollo.
Right.
Norwegian tongue. Uro MCs. We released samler. What do you call like?
Were those were some other artists that were kind of that you okay?
We released a samlerplate. What would you say that, like a collected record in '99? So that was pretty early too, before people were properly released, called Rhymer's Bench.
Okay.
So we did a little bit of that. But
so
we're not cynical, I guess, enough to like get money out of it. and so what happened was that when people broke, people made hits and stuff, they went to bigger labels that could do better job with them. And so in order to combat that, you'd have to have contracts that says that you can't leave without compensation, and we never wanted to do that because we wouldn't want to have that to ourselves, I guess. So and we couldn't sell records like the big ones.
Right.
Today is a little bit different because there's no really there's just marketing. Just marketing, maybe that's exaggerated, but the marketing is the biggest thing that's left of doing records, because developing the artist, of course, but marketing you could do like you can do it directly with an agency if you want.
Right. Cut the middleman out of the equation a lot more these days.
Yeah, but it's sort of, some of that is a bit sad. It sounds like a good thing, but a lot of people lost their jobs, and a lot of clever people too that worked in record
A&R, and then you got street marketing type of thing. And it was kind of back in the day. And then
when
the marketing,
also musicians used to work in record stores. That was how we earned money when you didn't have a hit out.
Right.
And that's not a thing anymore. Now every musician I know work at Ox.
Right. No doubt. No,
not everybody, but a lot of people do.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask, because there are a lot of musicians working in schools and have to have second jobs and stuff like that. But there are a few, I guess, that are not doing it, but at some point probably they will. It all depends on how they manage their funds or whatever. But I remember you saying you were the carpe diem before carpe diem. I was like, oh shit, now he's
So Carpe Diem is like the biggest Norwegian rap group now.
Right.
And they were, in the beginning, they were hugely inspired by Gatas Parlament, to the point where they were like, their absolute first song was like sort of a cover song of Gatas Parlament. I mentioned our first hit called Asphalt Evangeliet that was on the radio. They did that, like we made Asphalt Evangeliet. It goes, sorry for the Norwegian, it goes: mellom bakker og berg, ut med havet, her kan vi jobbe og slave, her kan vi drikke og rave, her kan vi rocke med java. Okay, so Carpe Diem made, hvor er Ville Britta, han forsvunnet.
Some of that saying cadence and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and they were cool. We toured with them as well.
Okay.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Right.
They were great from the get-go. I mean, they did basically what we did, like the when it comes to stage and scene presence and stuff like that, which is like sort of forward leaning.
That's definitely a big part of you guys' thing, is the stage and live performance and stuff.
So they did that only they were younger and more handsome. So, but yeah. Plus they had, I guess, more, songs that could,
kind of cross over to the mainstream
sort of, in a way. At least after a while, they did that pretty good.
Right. No, but
it's a great group, and I recommend everything they have done, I think.
Yeah, Carpe Diem, check them out, people that aren't.
They're not called that anymore. They're called Carpe.
Oh, Carpe. Okay,
Yes.
there we go. Carpe, C-A-R-P.
Yeah, they're almost as good as Gatas Parlament.
No doubt, no doubt. You gotta, you gotta love it. You gotta, choose yourself first. So what would you say some of the positive and negative things, as far as through your career? As far as being want to be a rapper, hip hop artist, that you feel like I'm just trying to make up some questions right now, man. Because I told you I ain't coming here planned today.
No, but listen,
we just said we're just gonna do it on a whim, and so there we go. So I'm just over
I think there is something to say about that.
Right.
A little bit. Or
I know you do.
I
want
to. The genre.
I know you can go in because we talked politics. So
Okay, listen. So, rap music is very, very vocally based, more so than any other genre of music. Right. Even in a way more so than you could say like it's like literature but it's poetic,
right?
And it's also got this thing where it's from the rap music is from the streets, you could say.
Right.
So you get like people that says things that represent themselves or the place where they come from,
right,
and their perspectives. And it should be, I mean, ideally and at its best, you could check out some Serbian rap to figure out what's going on amongst the youth in Serbia, and South African rap to figure out what's going on,
Right.
And you get the different perspectives and opinions and feelings and what's going on, which is, I think, very cool. Even in like Norway, you could check out like music from Trondheim and Bergen and Tromsø,
and they have their own issues.
Yeah, definitely. Right. And a small place like Lillehammer, which is
right
famous for Johnny and
the guy, the spinoff from The Sopranos as well, that the Lillehammer show that people outside of Norway, I'm sure, heard of on Netflix and things like that.
Yeah, that's true. Little Steven.
Right. I forget his name. But
I used to listen to his records when I was a kid too.
Right. And then I forgot, in Lillehammer, speaking of that, Lillehammer was a place where they had the Winter Olympics in Norway. There was something else that I found out. What happened? I was talking about it today with somebody that happened in Lillehammer.
You're talking about the Lillehammer-mordet?
Not that one. But no, we were talking about Cool Runnings. Jamaica has a bobsled.
Oh yeah, was that there? No.
Was it there? Somebody had mentioned that. Was that that wasn't you, was it?
No. Yeah,
but
I remember the conversation. I don't
No, there was somebody else that had just had mentioned that Jamaica during that time, the Cool Runnings or whatever, they were kind of talking about the competition when the Jamaican bobsled team. But did that happen in Lillehammer or no?
I don't think so.
Because I was like, what? I never heard of that.
I gotta check that. Maybe they were there anyway. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, but I was I gotta check that out. I was like, I didn't know that one. That one slipped past me.
That's a long time since I saw that one.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah, I can tell you the first time I met Jester from Gatas Parlament. That was in Lillehammer. And he was doing a gig at Rock Against OL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we didn't want them. We didn't want the Olympics in Norway because it's so expensive, right?
Right.
So that was, he did a gig there. So it must have been like 93, maybe. Something like that.
So at that time, you were already thinking. Were you already thinking about adding another member or replacing a member, or
no? Not really. No. We were part of a booking group or associated with the booking group at Blitz.
Okay.
Did hip hop there called Durativ Booking. So I was traveling with them to check out this new talent, sort of, for eventually booking him for a live gig at Blitz.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how you end up.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we met at
and then you got a
festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got a visual guy. You said a visual.
Yeah.
Visual stuff.
That's right.
What's the name? Mats
Faste Liang Nilsen. Yeah.
All right.
He also called himself Projektorpøblene.
Oh, what's his background? Is he Norwegian? I mean, well, is he ethnic Norsk, or is he? Okay, I thought. Okay, yeah. And so he's your kind of visuals when it comes to the videos, or no, the lighting and stuff when it comes to the stage shows and stuff.
Yeah, he does. He
Or
projects
sound.
like a video on stage, basically, or graphics and video and stuff to like sort of increase the stage
Right.
show. So what we like to do now is we like to take, we like to go into a small place or whatever place we're doing a gig, and then transform it like to a big it's for to a big experience.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do, and that's what he's best at.
I
And
remember you
also,
guys doing I saw you guys doing a real nice one, the last big one. What was that? It was in not Stortinga, but it was the Torg. Right? You guys had like a stage show that was by what is that area where the Arbeids party?
Yeah. You mean like a live stream?
It was a live stream at a show, right? It was a live stream, and then you had at one of your stage shows I forget, man.
We did like a live stream from Youngstorget. Yeah.
Okay, then
projected pictures.
That was it. Then that was it.
It wasn't actually any.
It came out pretty nice on. Okay, that's right. That's right. That was during the Corona time. But no, it came out looking pretty good. Way better than what I thought when I checked it out. That was during when everything. I remember you. I think you not tweeted, but I think you.
Yeah, we worked a lot with that in the school. And it worked out and was cool. But it's not really the streaming stuff is frustrating, I think, because it's a lot of work for a lot less.
So we old school.
Even if you get like a huge streaming thing, we've been parts of, or you get 25,000 that's watching at the same time.
Right.
It's not the same as 200 people jumping up and down.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But of course it's cool.
Nah, but no, I'm not. Like my YouTube channel, man, I'm low definition.
We're streaming too.
Yeah. So I don't have all these bells and whistles and everything like some of these podcast guys. Matter of fact, I don't even have a podcast. I need to link some of my stuff to audio for podcast, but I'm definitely
for that.
Right.
Yes.
For the audio streaming thing. But no, so what do you see yourself? You see yourself still creating music for how long? What do you in the future? You see yourself for another 5-10 years before you can really call it a full on retirement from it, or
I don't understand why I should retire.
I like that answer.
Yeah. Well, like commercially, it's a different game when you're a grown-up man than when you're young and handsome.
Right.
I'm old and handsome now.
Right.
And,
no doubt.
Just like you.
But that ties into what we were talking about, I guess, about the jazz music, other genres.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So yeah. So I guess.
But anyway, it was never about, we didn't make like music is not the place to work if you want to earn money, like real money. You could get rich in a lot of places, and music shouldn't be your first choice. If that's your motivation,
right?
So, and it really wasn't, but there's some motivation there about success,
right?
Like of course, but that's like maybe kunstneriske, what should you say, artistically, and creatively, and also like having a lot of people like dig in your stuff. That's cool too.
right.
Yeah. So but the need, I think the need to create and work and make stuff is not I mean, I
know what you're trying. I
goes over. I don't think so.
I feel what you're trying to say. No, well,
we have friends that are creating music for other people as well, you know. So there's also a possibility that you could do.
Right. No, you know, like me with this little YouTube channel of mine, you know, I didn't start out trying to, hey, I want to do this. Obviously, I would have had more things going on, technically with my videos and camera and things like that. But I don't even have that as I'm using the one on my laptop. But you know, I just started out with me personally wondering about things and wanted to know answers of things and wanted to, to chat with certain people about certain things, and so I guess it got a little bit of a following. So then I you know, it started out like that, and it continues to kind of be that way. But yeah, so I didn't really think so much of, hey, it should be packaged, it should be done like this and do it like this. It was more of a passion of something that I have done before I started putting on YouTube anyway. I've always was curious about and questioned and things like that. So
yeah, sure. No, I think your channel is awesome, and there's perspectives there, which is hard to, or interesting, I think, because it's not is another thing than simply African perspective, but it's an Afro-American perspective in Norway, which is where I don't know where I could get that.
Right. How many other African Americans interviewed you though?
I have no idea. Know. I have no. Well, at the biggest, you know, I guess we had some.
Oh, of course.
Things in the US and too. We had
hold up. You played in the US, right?
No.
Okay. But yeah, you talking about out here.
No, we had our thing is in during the Iraq War. We made this joke about I was about to say Donald Trump. That's a lie. I mean George Bush,
right,
Jr. You know, and he had you might know of this. He had what do you call it? Like playing cards with Iraqi dead or alive posters on it, like for Iraqi people.
Right.
And it was like big bounties. If you would arrest or kill this person, you will get a bounty. So we were like, okay, if that's allowed, then we can do it too. So we said, okay, we want to set a bounty for the head of George W. Bush. And we made a video where it's called Anti-American Dance, Anti-Amerikansk Dans, where we sort of collect money for a bounty of the head of George W. Bush. Yeah. This is all a joke. It's sort of there's another story behind it too, because
thank God for freedom of speech, huh?
Well, I'll come to that. It's not as simple as that.
Right.
Thing is, okay, there in the peace movement of Norway had a campaign called Tell Him No. Which were like, because the Norwegian government said, okay, war, good, we're in. And they were in the Alliance of the Willing, as it was called at that time. Right. But the people of Norway was very much against the war. I mean, 93%, I think, was against the war, which is a huge percentage, right? And nobody in Norway believed in the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and all of that, which was the narrative in the US.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
and they had this campaign called Tell Him No, where they collected money, and the money was going to an ad which was to be put in Washington Post that they knew George Bush was reading, and it should say the Norwegian people are against this war, blah 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 blah. Please don't do this war. Love the Norwegian people. So we were like, okay, this is not going to be effective, but we know something that is going to be effective. So we made Kill Him No as a sort of a parody of that campaign as well.
Nice.
And we made a music video, and that was sort of a slight scandally thing. And the U.S. Embassy in Norway sent a letter to the Norwegian police where they asked the Norwegian police to do whatever they could to shut this down, this campaign. And then the Norwegian police sent a letter to our web hosts, which took down the page, but they posted the letter that they had got from the police.
Hey, good, bad publicity or good publicity?
It's sort of clever. And then, okay, so we're shut down. What's going on? And then that thing blew up in the press.
Yeah.
And at that time, this might be difficult for Americans to understand, but everybody was against the war, right? Nobody supported that war.
Right,
Nobody, not or almost nobody.
Right.
Just like few people.
Definitely.
And that includes the press. So we had a lot of support, and the U.S. embassy or the Secret Service looked like, well, they didn't look very
good, trying to suppress.
You could say,
Right.
Yeah, and also one thing is suppressing freedom of speech, but they're suppressing freedom of speech in Norway. How is that possible? How can the U.S. like a Secret Service? How can they? They
try to strong arm y'all out here.
Yeah. So that backfired, you could say, and that song was a sort of a viral hit. This is slightly before YouTube, unfortunately.
Right.
But it was picked up by some viral. And translated to English, and people, we had hate mail out the ass. We had so much hate mail from conservative Americans, like, I want to rip your head off and down your throat.
Yeah, you've mentioned some of these things.
From a peace-loving Republican, stuff like that. Yeah. So you F-word, N-word loving, Right. That was crazy. It was crazy and a lot of fun. I replied to all of them, like most of them, with
Norwegian
exaggerated politeness.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that's a bit. Thank you very much for your letter. It's interesting to see that we can exchange ideas.
I remember you telling me some of that. Yeah,
that was cool. Hilarious. I mean, some of these people invited me home to them. Like, if you're ever in Texas, don't hesitate to. I was like, you just threatened to kill me like 2 days ago. What's going on? So that was funny. Also an interesting insight into American culture, I think, because I think you guys are a lot more polite than we are in a way. But yeah, I
disagree with that one.
Yeah, but the thing is,
in general,
an American could say, like, if in political debate, you could say like the worst things for to an adversary. You could say like horrible, crazy stuff,
right,
and words that shouldn't be spoken out loud,
right.
And then if you reply polite, you say, oh, how very nice, and you good arguments here, and blah blah blah, and if you respond politely, and maybe you say, I'm sorry for something, doesn't even need to be real, then I think it is a very Norwegian perspective. I realize that, but I think that an American would be at least tempted to just apologize. Okay, you ask for forgiveness, yes, of course. That's it.
Right.
Whereas a Norwegian, if you threaten to kill me, there's nothing you could ever do. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure.
And if you're a racist, like, I wouldn't invite you to my home.
Right.
In a million years, that would never happen.
Right.
I think there's a difference. I think so. I don't know, but
I don't know. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah. We can go in America. We can. Yeah, I see. I know. I grew up with some of these. Yeah, you can say some extreme things and yet end up being friendly down the line.
Right.
Like that more so. You notice that in with Americans and stuff like that rather than here.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah,
so
it's a cool thing though.
No, and that's a whole other subject for a whole other thing. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, but it's easy for European left wingers like myself to be a bit arrogant when it comes to Americans.
Right.
And forget that sometimes they're actually cooler than us. In some ways.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that wall behind you, man.
Yeah.
With the pictures and stuff. Those are some of your artwork, right?
Right. Yes. It's all copyrighted though by other people. It's my superhero wall.
Right. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
So it's it's just
for the kids. Yeah. See, we was talking about the art, and I didn't realize that piece there, that little wall you got going on there.
Yeah, I introduced it to your audience actually when you were away.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. When I cut
got
myself
Donald
on
Trump
my own
here.
video.
The
Okay.
Modoc Donald Trump.
Okay. Wow. Nice. Yeah. And then the character below it. The character below it. Wasn't that the character that Somali guy had?
Yeah. He's called Urban Legend.
Urban Legend.
Norwegian
Right.
comic. Yeah.
That's a big thing for the diaspora, the black
Yeah, I
diaspora
guess.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I guess.
Yeah. But anyway, man, we ran over the hour mark. It's still live. So yeah. So I want to recap. This guy is from the not just the first Norwegian conscious rap, but first popularized group rapping in Norwegian. Period.
Yes, sir.
So that I want to clear up. So all the other earlier rappers that were popular before him it wasn't a huge host of people, but they were rapping in English.
Yes.
And he's part of the first group that is well known that rapped in Norwegian. Yeah. And that was one of the things, and also the history that he's given me about some of the beginnings of hip hop in Norway, as far as he know it, and experienced it. But yeah, no, I think we can shut this down now. Is there anything else? No, I'm gonna drop his on my YouTube channel below his website.
Thank you.
Where his band's website and what other social media that you mainly?
Maybe the YouTube channel.
Yeah, you guys do have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's a bit complicated because we had like a.
Because he's going.
One of them. Well, we have two, and
okay.
Yeah, so it's important that you get the newest one. But
all right, for sure. I'm gonna wait on that one. Make sure I get the newest one, but for sure the band's the band's website, because he'll be having new music.
Sure.
Probably this week or next week, right around the corner.
Yes.
So new releases and some of his old music you can.
I think it's the 28th. I think.
Okay.
Oh, can that be right? No, that can't be right.
That'll be tomorrow then.
Yeah, no, that's not right. Okay, but I had this one story that I wanted to tell you, Robert,
yeah, go ahead.
It's okay.
Absolutely.
Because it's about speaking English.
Yeah.
Which I'm currently doing, and I'm not completely comfortable with any longer.
Right. That's why I cut in some of the time, as I was trying to play dance with the thing. So I don't want you guys, you're never letting them talk, your guests talk. I truly was wanting to let him just take over, and I know him and the comfortability. That's why I pointed it out, people. So that's why I try to kind of
You dance,
and I definitely want him to talk because I'm.
To it.
Huh?
I see you dance very well when you put your heart into it.
That's what's up.
All right, listen. We were making rap songs in Norwegian, but also in English, or well, partly English and partly American, I guess, inspired by both Gunshot and Silver Bullet from England, and Chuck D and and KRS and Ice Cube, which we thought spoke the same dialect.
Okay.
More or less. Anyway, when we did our first commercial or show at the festival in Trondheim in the year, I think, 1997. And that concert was a pretty big festival, really cool. Chumbawamba was there, and the English band. Henry Rollins' band was there. Helicopters from Sweden, and also Britcore group Gunshot was there.
My bad. I just saw somebody said hello on the live chat. I forgot about that, man, bro.
Hello, live chat.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say hello. And I want to say hello back. See, I'm bro, I took a long hiatus, so that's why I'm getting back into this thing. And I said, you're a perfect person because I know you, and we see each other.
But now you are actually interrupting me, though.
All right, Mo.
Yeah. All right.
I was gonna say something.
Yeah. Well, okay.
No doubt.
Anyway, NRK, like the Norwegian broadcasting, they sent the show on the radio, and that made it possible for me to listen to the concert in its entirety, which was, being sent out to the radio listeners. And that's the last time I spoke English on stage, because I realized I can't do it. I mean, I had recorded these songs, but I'm in the studio and I can change it when my dialect is, or my language is poor. But
you good. You better than most people, and you better than me in some nights, some days, man. For sure.
Well, not live rapping. That's not a good idea.
Right.
Yeah,
the person that I was only shout out to the Afro humanist who I'm supposed to interview on Sunday. Yeah, and so she is in the live chat. She said hello. So no doubt. But you go ahead. I just wanted to.
Yeah. But I guess that was it. I stopped speaking English to publicly, and here I am once again.
Right.
Thanks to you, Robert.
That's right. I drag it out of you, man. I drag it out of you. I try to a little bit at least.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway, so Elling Borgersrud.
I use Fragatas mostly.
I saw that. I saw okay. What? Okay. So
are you talking to Afro humanist again?
No, I'm talking to you.
All right.
So right. I'm Borgersrud Fragatas. I was going to ask you, what was that? How did that?
Well, we were the first Norwegian tongue rap group, and
we were
trying to make it sound like how to figure out like a name that would sound hip hop for a group, right? And how to get an alias that would sound like a rapper's name.
Right.
I think we figured out the name for the group pretty good, which is in my humble opinion, maybe the best band name in Norway. But for the aliases, we never figured it out, and then it was too late. Sort of when people now are named, I don't know. Yeah, well, we missed out on that, so that's why I went by Elling for a lot of years.
Right.
Which is, undoubtedly silly. I agree. And so I ended up with a hopefully slightly less silly name.
Right. So with that being said, we're about to wrap it up. we anybody that's tuned in, if they're still tuned in, or if they watch this later or what have you, don't forget to subscribe and check out the Gatas Parlament. And I'll leave some links underneath the video. And I'm going to say that, so I mentioned Sunday, I'm going to interview Afro Humanist. It's Nigerian descent, living in the UK, an atheist on the rise, YouTuber. So check that out on Sunday. Any shout outs, my man?
Shout out to all real people.
No doubt.
All right.
All right, my brother.
Cool.
We'll talk another time. All right.
Peace.
Yeah.